could have guessed this all ruin and sorry, words. Who could have guessed
It's canonical.
ruin?
Hold on.
Cut.
Hold on a second. I gotta take a breather. My brain's
I don't
hurting.
remember my lines. It is shed. That's
It's all just a show.
It would make sense. Who is this, sir? Who is he? Why is he wearing Kato?
She's like, this unnamed man. He's like, I literally have a name. The man who has no name.
I've known you since birth.
The man who has no name.
Since we're talking about dreams, is there ever a thing in your dreams that is constantly reoccurring? Something you've noticed that happens in almost every nightmare you have.
The military.
The military? I'm talking about necessarily an object, or a sound, or a person.
The military.
Somebody in particular. Because for me, remember that black fog I told you about? For an entire year and a half, when I would have these extreme nightmares.
What's this? I'm just leaving.
I would have this black fog. And this black fog, I don't know what was in this fog, but it was... This thing wanted me. This thing wanted me hurt. This thing wanted to scare me. And it was like... Yeah. For example, there's this one nightmare I had that I remember. I was back at my mom's old place, and I was in the middle of a conversation with my grandma, and I was talking to her about coming out as bisexual, and we were having a conversation about it, and I heard this guttural roar that this black fog tends to make in these nightmares, and I remember getting scratches on my back all of a sudden, and my grandma was telling me I had to do something to heal the scratches or whatever, and I go downstairs, and I'm going towards the door, and you just see this black mist, this thick cloud. You can maybe see 2 inches into it before you can't see anything behind it. And it's like, it's coming towards me rapidly, and it's yelling for me. And I remember I looked at it and I said, I'm not afraid of you. You can't scare me. You can't hurt me anymore. I won't let you hurt my family. And this thing just screams, and it engulfs me. And it happens like that in a lot of my nightmares, where this fog appears. It makes some kind of noise. It's very angry with me. It has this feeling of, I want to hurt you. You shouldn't be here. That I just can't describe. And then near the end, this fog either devours me somehow, or I get consumed into its inky blackness, or the last thing I see is it charging towards me. It's just a wall. It's a wall of fog. It's not an entity. It's not a figure. It's an entire wall of fog.
Okay.
And it always has something to do with this black fog, or this black mystery mist.
August 12th, 2036. The
It's
heat
so
death of the
weird.
universe. The fog is coming.
The only other time that it's differentiated between fog and something else was a dream that I had where I was in... Am I doing the voice?
I was waiting for you to finish.
I can continue after.
Oh, alright.
Brr, the rain's making me chilly. I better go under something. Like I was saying, the only other time that it's changed between black fog was this one dream. This is probably one of the last few nightmares I've had since moving in. I think it was about 2 years ago. I had a dream that I was in this room.
This one?
Nope. I should say in a room. It had no windows, it had no doors. It had one bed, it had a single bookshelf. The books were blank, they had no words in them. It was just a book full of paper. And a single lamp. And a chair. It was a small room, like a bedroom. It was a twin-sized bed. And I remember I was sitting there with my childhood dog and my late bearded dragon. And I was just sitting there, and I had no idea how much time had passed. I remember seeing these memories of being there for what feels like years. And I knew that there was nothing outside of that room. That I had tried to escape, and that there was nothing out there. It was just a black mist. There was nothing outside of that room. I don't know how I knew that, but I knew that. So, one day, I'm sitting on the bed in that room, and I'm looking down.
Well, but I guess that's over. Honestly, I've been attacked by bees that were scarier. Let me give you this as thanks for your help. It's great to eat when you're on the road.
Porridge.
I, Water, I'm wandering all throughout the Hyrule collecting bugs.
Bug.
Are you perhaps also a fan of insects?
Yes.
Honestly, how could you not be? From the beautiful wings paired with their tough exoskeletons, what perfect creatures.
I love bug.
Oh, I've got it. As thanks for your help, let me gift you my knowledge of all things insecta. That's a sciencey name for bugs. You're traveling around Hyrule too, so such wisdom will help you find all sorts of bugs on your journey. Okay, let's start with the basics. I'm sure you know that Hyrule has warm regions and cold regions, right? Yes. Well, just like most folks, our different buggy friends prefer different climates depending on their needs. So warm regions like Eldon are often home to submarine butterflies and warm darners. Meanwhile, cold darners and winter marine butterflies prefer cold regions like Hebra. So if you know what kind of bugs you live, where you're heading, it makes the journey that much more fun. And that's it for Dr. Waters' Insect Crash Course. We need to get some more. Do you want to buy bugs from me? Okay, no you don't.
I was on that bed in the stream, and I looked down, and there is a pretty large, what looks like a hole in the floor. Big square hole, a little bit bigger than the size of a bathtub. And it was just this black sludge. It looked like oil, but thicker. And I took note of it, and it had been there the whole time. I'd never really noticed it. And I'm looking at this black sludge, and something is telling me to go in there, but I ignore it. Well, I'm just minding my own business, and my childhood dog, his name is Marty, he looks at me and he goes, "It's time to go." And then he walks into that sludge and sinks. And I just watch him. I just watch him walk into that sludge, and he's gone. And then I know another probably couple of months pass during that time period. I don't know how I'm telling time because there's no clocks. But I know that at least a long period of time has passed since he left. Then my bearded dragon looks at me. He doesn't say anything, but then he walks into the pool as well and disappears beneath the surface of that oil. And again, I am reminded of that feeling of I need to go in there, but I don't want to.
This is really depressing.
I know, but listen. So I stay there for what feels like another few weeks, and I go, okay, it's time for me to go. I don't know where I'm going, but I'm going somewhere. So I take a step into that pool, and you feel it's like a really thick oil. It's like stepping into oobleck, but a little more runny. And I let myself sink into this pool, and it's cold, and I don't breathe, but it's calming as I sink deeper into this pool. It's so weird. It's the one time I've ever had this black fog, this black pinkiness. Instead of it being terrifying, I go into it and I relax. I just let my body relax. And I never reach the bottom. I wake up, I never reach the bottom. I have no idea what was on the other side of that pool. And it makes me wonder to this day, what is on the other side of that pool?
Nothing, because it's not real.
I know it's not real. My mind usually comes up with these crazy stories when I have these dreams, and so it bothers me why I never found out the ending of that. Why I never learned what happened. It was like entering an alternate dimension. It was so fucking weird. And I've never really had dreams like that. It was so out of place, that's why I can remember it. Because I've told you plenty of my crazy dreams. And they're usually all about me getting into a fight with somebody. Mm-hmm. But this one was just so different that I've remembered it for years. I don't know. I've had some messed up dreams. I don't know what they mean, if they mean anything at all. I just thought it was interesting. Maybe I'm not the only one. Maybe our audience has some crazy dreams.
Crazy dreams?
Tell us about your dreams in the comments. We'd love to hear it.
Tell us about how you gambled all your money away and wasn't able to pay rent anymore.
Tell us about how you walked into a black sludge and met Slender Man or something. I don't know.
Make Slender Man.
Met Slender Man.
Oh, I'm about to say make
Excuse
Slender
me.
Man. Excuse me, bitch.
You say my dreams are depressing. Your dreams are depressing.
Why do you say that?
They're all really sad.
Why do you say that?
It's always about somebody you care about dying or betraying. Usually me. It's usually about me betraying you. I mean, yeah, nightmares are supposed to be sad, but yours are just really sad.
I don't think nightmares are supposed to be sad. I think they just happen to be sad.
It would be a nightmare if it didn't cause some kind of drama to you. I don't know, man. I still get dreams about people I haven't seen in many, many years, or I'll have dreams about people I've never met before, and somehow I have a really close relationship with these individuals. I'll have dreams about people who I believe I've known my entire life, and I have no idea when I wake up who the fuck these people are. You know, fun fact, not everybody dreams the same way, right? My grandma doesn't dream in color.
That's because she does.
She doesn't dream in... That's... You caught me so off guard with that. She doesn't dream in color, and she doesn't dream faces. Because I've had a conversation with her. I was like, do you dream in as much detail as I? Because I have these crazy dreams that are so intricate, you can see the veins on leaves in the trees. And she's like, I don't understand how you have dreams that vivid, because mine, I don't see anybody's faces, and nobody's in color. Really?
Well, that's because she's used.
Interesting.
It's because she's used to not having color back in her time. Obviously, color wasn't invented until 1950 something.
Lord.
Didn't you know that people didn't know what color was before 1950?
I think it has something to do with the way people imagine stuff. Because you can ask two people. You ask one person, and you ask another person to imagine an apple.
What if your apple
I
was...
can guarantee you they're gonna imagine how an apple looks differently. One might imagine a drawing where it's very flat, it's very plain in color,
Well,
it doesn't have a lot of detail.
this is-
Or you'll ask another person to imagine an apple, and it'll be so detailed you couldn't even imagine it.
I'll tell you this. How do you know that your red is the same as my red?
That is true.
So, like, what if your red looks like what we think purple is? So my apple is regular red, but your apple is purple. But you call it red because you've been taught that that color is red.
I don't know. I do not know. Life is a mystery. That's what makes it so interesting.
And so are the taxes you have to pay for some reason.
That's not interesting. That's just dumb.
Sad and dumb. Yeah.
Only species on this planet that has to pay
No,
taxes.
we're one of the few countries that you have. At least I'm pretty
You're
sure.
pregnant.
I'm pretty sure we're one of the few countries where you have to tell the government this is how much I'm paying for taxes, and then they check it instead of them saying this is how much you owe, pay it. Like, that is so dumb to
I
me.
saw a video about that. He was like, I'm new. I've never filed for my taxes before. And they're like, oh, just tell us how much you owe us. He's like, well,
Is
I
it a
don't
lady at a
know.
computer like typing
I
and she's
can't
chewing
remember.
bubble gum?
But he's like, can you just tell me? She's like, no, we can't do that. It's like, okay, so I give you an estimate? And then she goes, no,
It has
if you
to
do
be
that,
cent.
it has to be cent exact or we'll throw you in federal prison. And he goes, oh, so how am I supposed to figure it out? I don't know.
Figure it out.
It's like, what the fuck? He's got a lily pad on his face.
Yeah. It's really dumb, honestly. I don't know why it works like that. It's really dumb.
I mean, I get it. Taxes are, well, supposed to be paying for important things. Supposed to be.
Yeah, they're supposed to be. Doesn't mean that they all are.
And yet they don't help us out. It's something we have to pay, but yet you don't make it easy for us to find out how much we have to pay. So we have to pay somebody else
So I don't get this.
to pay our taxes.
Can I shoot? Oops.
You
Can
just
I-
started a wildfire.
That did not work like I thought it would. I attached a bow to a sword, and I was like, would this shoot if I attach it to the sword?
I wonder what's in that tornado.
What the fuck? That's a big
big
one.
Arracuda.
Or is he just very close? Can't
It might
tell.
just be very close. I don't know.
No, he's pretty big. He's a green one too.
It goes red, blue, green, black, white, and gold? I don't remember how it goes.
I mean, they were yellow, so that's why I don't know. It's a little different, it seems.
I think it was sad way to die with your ass in the air.
In your head of fire, your ass in the air, faces in fire.
Meat cooking over you.
Does not sound like a fun time. What the fuck?
Arracuda eyeball.
Why does it look like a passion fruit?
It kind of does look like a passion fruit. That was the back of the eye we were seeing. Who's keeping just singular arrows in a barrel?
What?
My brain. I need to reach my friend. Fuck you.
Alright, guys, if you want to see us do something weird with this Korok, we'll see you in the next episode. Because we're recording this like a week in advance. Bye.
Bye.
Will Autumn and Liz make this Kurok's life a living hell? You already know the answer. That is precisely why you should tune in next time to BSN Bubblegum to find out the reason behind this absolutely fucking filthy breakdown.
Please, brothers, do it!
Make this the most brutal mosh pit you bubblegums have ever fucking seen. Start fucking swinging.
Take two! My smile! Please, brothers, do it! Take two! My smile! Please, brothers, do it!